Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rahmawati, and on behalf of my research team, I would like to present our research entitled Human Milk Donor, Bottle Feeding, and Breastfeeding Status of Mother of Infants Age 0 to 6 months in Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta.
As we already know, the human milk donors work as a temporary support when the mother own milk or mom was insufficient or the mother is unreachable, which commonly happen in the first few days after the baby's birth. However, bottle feeding is a media commonly used by caregivers to feed the baby, although it might increase the risk of nipple confusion and disturb the breastfeeding process. And there are still many babies who do not pass the full term of 6 months exclusive breastfeeding, and this might be happen because of the breastfeeding problem, which is generally contribute to early cessation of breastfeeding, including a mother's perception of insufficient milk supply. Furthermore, research and data provided about human milk donor in Indonesia and in the DIY are still limited. So, this explanation show the problems faced by uh, us, where the human milk donor works as an temporary support, but uh, it might be applied in the wrong um wrong way, like use an inappropriate media or etc. So, in the first time, the human milk donor is aimed uh, to achieve the exclusive breastfeeding status. But if we use the inappropriate media, it might be resulted in the cessation of exclusive breastfeeding because of the risk of nipple confusion. So, this is our objective of the research. The study aimed to explore the relationship between human milk donor, bottle feeding, and the breastfeeding status of the mother of infant aged 0 to 6 months in the DIY. Uh, we, we conduct this research using a cross-sectional online survey using an questionnaire online with a link available in social media for about 4 months, and the variable included variable were included in this research was human milk donor status, bottle feeding, and breastfeeding status. And the data were analyzed using the Kolmogorov-Smirnov and chi-square test. And this is the result of the study related to the socio-demographic data of the participant. Most of the mother aged 19 until 40 years old and graduated from diploma and bachelor, worked as a housewife, and the child age range in 3 to 6 months old, and they mostly live in Sleman. And uh, we can see from the table that the data was normally distributed because there are no significant relationship between the socio-demographic data and the variable included in this research. This was the result, uh, which showed the relationship between the variables in the table 2, human milk donor, bottle feeding, and breastfeeding status. We can see that there was no significant correlation between human milk donor recipient status and exclusive breastfeeding. And next, the bottle feeding utilization was signified as a risk factor for both non-exclusive breastfeeding and prolonged breastfeeding insufficiency. This finding point out the risk of bottle feeding and the prolonged of breastfeeding insufficiency. Like we already understand that the utilization of bottle feeding might lead to a nipple confusion. So, uh, although we use human milk donor to help the mother to fulfill their need give a proper nutrition to their baby, but if we didn't deliver it with the appropriate media, it will lead to another problem like a breastfeeding insufficiency or non-exclusive breastfeeding. Okay, like I mentioned before, that this result underline the importance of understanding that the usage of donor milk, uh, human milk donor as a temporary feeding for infants should be delivered by appropriate feeding media to avoid contrary effects such as breastfeeding difficulties or prolonged breastfeeding insufficiency. In addition, lactation support during the milk sharing process is also essential for achieving exclusive breastfeeding. In this context, the lactation support will help the mother to overcome with all the problem in breastfeeding, or in minimal, the mother have an courage uh, to empower their self to uh, fulfill their baby need of breast milk could be fulfilled with the mom or own milk. And this support may reduce the mother feeling of insufficient breastfeeding, increase the mother's self-efficacy, and help mother find appropriate media instead of bottle feeding. So this is our conclusion. Bottle feeding works as a risk factor or of prolonged breastfeeding insufficiency, disturb the breastfeeding process, and might obstruct its exclusivity. In the context of donor human milk, the caregivers should avoid bottle feeding usage. And this is several suggestions. An approach to use appropriate feeding media through lactation support for the mother is essential, particularly in human milk donor practices, which is aimed to maintain or to obtain the exclusivity during the milk donor period and beyond, and avoid feeding usage and ensuring the mother breastfeeding self-sufficiency. So, uh, we we underline that not only we have to focus not only in the final objective of human milk donors to obtain the exclusive breastfeeding, but also we have to uh, empower the mother uh, to uh, to obtain their own breastfeeding self-sufficiency. And also, this uh, could be supported by the bottle usage, feeding avoidance, and uh, giving another source of nutrition like formula. And in this context, we hope that the exclusivity during the McDonald period and beyond could be maintained effectively and could uh, meet the final objective of the usage of human milk donor. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your attention and thank you.